Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian here at the Excel Center in London aboard HMS Argyll, the most advanced Type 23 frigate in the Royal Navy. Our coverage here at DSEI is in partnership with DSEI and Clarion Events, and we're honored to have with us Dr. Liam Fox, a Member of Parliament from North Somerset, who also happens to be the Secretary of State for International Trade. Sir, thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure, as ever.
Now that you're Secretary for International Trade at a very challenging time, going through Brexit negotiations while trying to expand Britain's global trade footprint, how important is defense and aerospace in that international trade agenda?
Oh, it's very important, and for the UK, if you look at our defence and security sector, it's got a turnover of about £35 billion. It produces exports for the UK of about £9 billion, contributing to our economy, but it also supports hundreds of thousands of jobs, and beyond that, it's an essential part of our tech infrastructure and our ability to produce some global cutting-edge technologies.
What are your priorities in Brexit negotiations? You were a very strong advocate for Brexit, of which there was no doubt. What are your priorities? What do you want to see? What's the kind of trade relationship you want to see with the Europeans?
Open, comprehensive and liberal. And I would begin that conversation at the global level. If you look at the global economy at the present time, global GDP's growing at about 2.5%, but global trade's only growing at about 1.3. Normally that ratio is inverted, where trade is growing faster. So we need to be promoting international trade, and we need to be looking at how we get the global trading environment to be working better. And it seems to me that to be introducing or even thinking of introducing impediments to growth and to trade and investment in the European Union will be a sign that we're not opening up the global economy but closing it down. And the UK is very keen to promote a global Britain. In other words, more outward looking, more pro-free trade, more liberal than we've had before. We've got a number of agreements around the world, and as we leave the European Union, we've been saying to our trading partners, let's just use that as the template, but let's develop a more liberal model. We're working with the United States, for example, and what do we do when Britain has an independent seat at the WTO, where we can actually promote trade liberalisation so that actually we're able to spread the prosperity that we've taken for granted to many other countries.
Are you concerned if, the Brexit negotiations so far have been not maybe as smooth as everybody would have liked it at this point, but everybody knew it was going to be a tough challenge. You've discussed that as well. But do you see it actually damaging Britain's trade prospects? Europe is a very key market. Britain is an integrated feature of that, obviously, as an EU member. Are you concerned at all that if you don't get free movement of people, whole series of other concessions that are important for British trade, that you could actually suffer at the end of this move?
Well, two things. We haven't started yet the discussions on what our trading relationship will be. The European Union is unwilling to go beyond the separation agreement at the present time. I think we need to get on to that trading agreement because investors around the world, not just British investors, but German, French, Italian, Spanish investors are all looking to see what the shape of that agreement will be, and the sooner we can give them an indication of end state, the more confident they will be about that pattern. As for the UK, the European Union is an important trading partner for us, but in the last 10 years it's shrunk from well over 50% of our trading to just about 42% at the present time, and 90% of global growth is going to come outside Europe in the next 10 to 15 years, so we're clearly looking at those markets where there will be much faster growth than Europe will have. But I go back to my original point that we actually need to be concerned about the global trading entity, and we mustn't allow what is, in global terms, a relatively localized dispute to put the global trading environment at a disadvantage. So I think that European politicians involved in this discussion need to understand that they're not having this discussion in a political or economic vacuum, and that it will have global consequences, and we have therefore responsibilities that go beyond Europe's borders.